Hi everyone, welcome back and get ready for week 2. We're going to dive right in this week. Lots of reading, beginning of assignments, and diving a little bit further into the American Community College. This week our topic is on student demographics. You know, the type of students that enter into the American Community College are very different from those you might see at a four-year public or even a four-year private or a for-profit institution. Community colleges today are seeing a wide variety of different individuals who are entering into their colleges, both traditional students leaving directly out of high school, as well as non-traditional age students returning for retraining or maybe seeking their first degree. In addition to that, community colleges also help and assist students who don't even have high school diplomas at times enter into workforce programs such as welding or automotive. In addition to all of that, you see a variety of other pathways through community colleges these days that maybe historically haven't been the case. Many states right now are now beginning to funnel students through the community college system who are seeking courses or training such as English as a second language or adult basic education skill sets. We're also working with students who are interested in transferring to 4 years or are looking to go straight into the workplace. So as you can see, there are a variety of different types of students who might cross the threshold to the community college. And no matter what, community colleges need to be prepared to help move those students along their pathway to achieving their goals and their success. That brings us to what we're going to talk about in week 2. The first piece is we're going to take a look at some of the changing demographics of students in the community college system and what that means in terms of the types of services that the community colleges need to provide, as well as the types of education opportunities that are going to be fundamental to the success of those students. In addition to that, I think it's important that we take a moment during this week to really explore the completion agenda in America. Many of you have heard, as probably you have read in our White House Summit on Community Colleges from last week, that there is more and more importance being placed on the completion program for community colleges, ensuring that students who are entering our colleges are actually leaving our colleges with a credential. Now this is both for a couple of reasons. One, because we want to see students achieving success. We are concerned about our federal student aid dollars being used correctly and students not exiting higher education with huge amounts of debt and yet no credentials to show for that, as well as just regional, national, and international competitiveness in an economic environment that is now global. So given that, we need to take a moment and look at what we're being asked to do in terms of completion in America. I think one of the fundamental questions and issues that I'd like for each of us to explore during this week of our studies is exactly where the completion agenda falls with respect to community college students. I'll give you a good example. Annually, community colleges are asked to participate in the IPEDS national reporting. Many of you are probably familiar with the post-secondary reporting that needs to occur annually, both on finance, financial aid, and a variety of different other topics within higher education. But what's interesting about IPEDS and the data that's used is that IPEDS looks at a true first-time freshman who's never been in college and a 6-year graduation rate. Well, given what I've just mentioned to you about the demographics of community colleges, I'm sure that most of you can certainly see that there are a huge number of students that community colleges assist in educating that aren't captured in a first-time freshman cohort. In addition to that, if you're looking at a graduation rate in 6 years, certainly again, that does not necessarily apply so specifically to the community college. Our programs, while most of them 2-year, may take a little bit longer to complete. 6-year graduation rate, though, may not be necessarily reflective of what our students are accomplishing. In addition to that, when you look so narrowly at completion agenda and specific cohorts to define whether or not an institution is being successful, you really are then putting on the outside of those parameters all the rest of the students being served. A terrific example of this is, for instance, in the state of Louisiana. The community colleges issue a credential called a Technical Competency Area. It's a collection of courses designed to provide some sort of training that prepares an individual to enter into the workforce. Sometimes it can be as few as 5 or 6 hours, maybe as many as 9 hours. But with that specific set of courses, individuals are then prepared to go out and seek employment. Right now, the TCA, the Technical Competency Area, is not a recognized credential within the state. So unfortunately, community colleges in the state of Louisiana, for instance, are not able to be funded for completers who finish with a TCA, even though those students are leaving with valuable credentials that are helping them enter the workforce. This is just one example of that. If you take a look at general completion and the students that we're serving, the question that we always ask in the community college system is this: how do you know if a student's been successful? Well, in a traditional four-year marketplace, most of the time it's the result of completion of a baccalaureate degree and then employment. But in the community college environment, success can look very, very different depending on the type of student that you're dealing with. Some of our students come just to take a few remedial classes to get themselves prepared for college-level work in order to transfer to their maybe four-year institution of choice because they couldn't get in as a remedial student. If that student successfully completes that remedial coursework and is accepted into a four-year institution, wouldn't that student be considered a success, even though maybe they didn't earn a credential or a degree? I think the answer to that is yes. In addition to that, students who come to us to transfer, again, they may take a series of general education requirements, get a strong foundation upon which to transfer to a four-year institution. However, they may not ever earn a credential from a community college, such as an associate's degree or even a certificate. However, if that student goes on to continue their education and again is accepted into a four-year institution, maybe that is a new definition of success that we need to look at. What about the student who wants to enter the workforce? One of our premier programs that we see at a variety of colleges around the nation right now is welding. There's a high demand for welders nationwide. Oftentimes what we see is students enter our welding program, and before we can get them to a certificate or even an associate degree, they're being hired after having completed 1 or 2 courses in their program of study, making upwards of $15, $16, $18, even sometimes $20 an hour. If that student comes and gains a skill set that allows them to become employed, making a living wage to support their family, even if they haven't earned an official credential, again, is that success? I think the community college community would say yes, that is. So I think in some ways, the future of community colleges, the future of the completion agenda nationwide, needs to be reframed. The conversation needs to take place about what does success look like, and does success need to be measured within very specific, narrowly focused parameters, or can we broaden the scope a little bit so that we know and we can capture for our assessment and for the viability and long-term outlook of community colleges that students who come in to achieve a certain goal, once that goal is achieved, that they are truly part of the success stories that we are able to tell nationwide. So enjoy your class readings for this week. I look forward to reading your discussion posts for week 2 about the changing demographics of students at the community college. Have a great week.